Today we are talking about how to sell a cleaning business in the United Kingdom. And this is a sector that is quite interesting because it's very commoditized and is very popular. There's so many cleaning businesses, there are so many cleaning franchises, there's so many small operators, there are a lot of one-man bands or one-girl bands who wake up every day and take market share from you. So if you have gotten to a cleaning company status whereby your company's actually throwing off money, then you might be onto something. So these are some things that you need to think about whenever you look at selling your business. And it's a bit of a guide and things for you to think about. The first one is that you are mainly in the B2B business. And these are some things to consider. I'm not really going to go into the B2C cleaning business because that's a very, very hard to scale business. We have things like Molly Maid, for example. Those are franchises and they go and clean people's houses and they are perfectly valid. But you cannot clean from one company the whole of the UK household operations. That's very, very hard. So this is going to be for B2B businesses within the cleaning space. Selling a B2C cleaning business is extremely hard, and I have valued and helped sell Molly Maid franchises before, and they are a nightmare. So this is going to strictly focus on B2B businesses. So in the B2B space, there are procurement departments and tenders. And there's an entire side industry around this. You'll know this from experience. So do you have a procurement system, or do you have any perks that will be perceived by your end customer as good enough for them to hire you? What do I mean? Do you have long-lasting relationships with different councils or with different other companies? Do you have any perks? For example, I have a friend in construction and he was wanting to step up his game, and in order to do that, he knows that all the big players in that field have VIP football boxes in stadiums, and that's what they do. They take clients in and they sip on champagne or whatever they do, and that's how they get contracts and that's how they make money. Golf passes, I don't know. What perks do you have? Do you have a procurement system that works? Do you have relationships with your customers, and what do those look like, right? That's number one. Number two is, how can a new person, or how can you manage this for someone else? What do I mean? I mean that if your business is very key man dependent and you have long sales cycles, like you have a lot of the time with commercial cleaning, you might have a tender and that might take you 3 to 6 months, and then another 3 to 6 months to put everything in place. By the end of the 12 months, you might have a job, but that's 12 months out. What do we know now? What do we have right now? Anyone who's wanting to buy your business, it's not going to pay for something called blue sky, which is the opportunity. They're not going to pay you for the pleasure of putting the work in and making more money in the future. So if your business is key person dependent, how could I do it without you being there? And that means creating processes, creating systems, systematizing everything, making sure an idiot like me would be able to run it without too much training, These things take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and from passwords to admin tasks to payroll, is everything a system? Does everything have a way of being, a ways to do it? Very, very important. Another thing would be any Salesforce or any funnels you may have. Let's say you have salespeople or you have sales funnels, Google ads, Facebook ads, or whatever that might be. Are they automated? Does your business rely a lot on key salespeople? And then who sells? In cleaning businesses, it tends to be the owners who do all of the selling. It's their company, it's their flagship, and they just wave the flag wherever they go. They have a cleaning business and they want to procure more work for themselves, and that's who does all the selling. So the sales force, if you sell, how could I sell too? How could I be the salesperson for the business? And if I'm not a salesperson, could you train a salesperson, pay them a salary, and then you take another job within the company? These are very, very important things for you to think about. So if you have a sales force, what are those tasks? What do they do precisely with their time? And is it effective? And if it isn't really effective and you sell, for example, how could I sell? How could I step into your shoes and be the new owner and the new salesperson? It might be that you sell your business to someone, or if you sold your business to someone and your business is very key person dependent, if I step in because I'm not you and I haven't been in the industry for a long time, or I might have been in the industry for a long time, but I'm not you, the business might take a 20, 30, 40% sales hit in the next year until I get to grips with it. So very, very important for you to think about any Salesforce and any funnels, any systematization you have of processes. And then with commercial cleaning, there's something called predictability, which is wonderful whenever we talk about valuing a business and selling a business. And this is that if you can show predictability and consistency in your business, that's literally amazing. You know, it gives you the peace of mind beyond belief. If we talk about a lot of the time in business that if your business is not growing, your business is shrinking. But that might not be true. It might be that you have a commercial cleaning business that has been turning over £2 million or £5 million for the last 7 years. You live a very nice life and you now want to exit your business. And if I saw that consistency, if I saw that you have turned over the same amount of money over the last 5 years and there is predictability and consistency in the cash flows, what more do I want? You know, I can step in, and providing we do things right, I'm gonna have a brand new business, and that brand new business, old business, is gonna make the same money as the past few years. And those are wonderful, wonderful things to do, and those are wonderful businesses and they command premiums. So another thing for you to think about. Then, do you have other products or services? Can you create bundles, for example? Do you have optionality? Don't be a one-trick pony, as it were. I had a cleaning company, and it was commercial cleaning, and we were cleaning schools and pubs. And then I wanted to expand because I saw that the cleaning business is a very low margin one, is a very commoditized sort of industry, and the margins were razor thin. And so idea I came up with was to venture into facilities management. So we were managing Airbnbs and Costas and pubs and what have yous. So I simply fired emails and sat down with people and said, you've got Costas here and you have pubs here, and we can change the bulbs and we can take care of the electricity and the water and any windows that might need replacing or whatever. And initially I hired tradespeople, and those tradespeople used to go around fixing things. So I now cleaned the properties and started doing other things to the properties, like, sewage services and repairs and maintenance and painting and whatever. So if you can offer other products or services, that's gonna pump up the value of your business. Absolutely. Don't be a one-trick pony. Very, very interesting. The next one is the cash conversion cycle, and this is something that kills certain businesses sometimes, especially in B2B, especially in cyclical businesses, or where you have to pony up the money before you receive any money, as it were. So let's think of a tender for a local council, for example, and the tender process takes 3 months. If you happen to get the work, for you to put everything in place might take you another 3 months. Maybe it takes you a month, I don't know. And then after you start delivering, then that council might pay you within 1 month, 2 months, or 180 days, I don't know. So you are essentially funding the whole operation beforehand. And if this is not looked after in the P&L, in the management accounts that you monthly may have, then you are not managing the business properly. You're not being a good fiduciary for your business. So your cash conversion cycle needs to be as tight as possible, meaning if you tender for a job, you can say, listen, we can do it, but you are going to have to pay us within 30 days. And that's a clause that's set in stone. That's a line we draw in the sand. We've been doing this for a very long time, blah, blah, blah. However, we need to be paid so we can deliver the service to you. And so do you have any money in the kitty, as it were, for you to pony up if this sort of thing happens? And this happens all the time in cleaning businesses. I have a friend, for example, I talk about it all the time, and he's in construction and he wants to get into the bigger leagues, and he has agreements with house builders whereby he has been able to negotiate regular payment terms, so he's never out of pocket. Because if you work for Taylor Wimpey or for Barrett or for Persimmon, then they might want to pay you after 180 days. So you have invested in all the equipment, you've paid all your employees, and you've done everything, and you don't get paid until 3 months later after everything has been done. And that's absolute lunacy, in my opinion. So can you get negotiating there with your partners? And then number 8 would be what makes you different, and this is to the end consumer, not to you as the owner of the business. I know of, well, there's two very clear examples of this. There's one that's Molly Maid, and they have, whether you like them or not, a very big distinguishable name and brand equity. They have those vehicles painted a very specific way. The staff wear specific clothing, identified clothing. So if you hired Molly Maid for your house, you would know what to expect, roughly. Obviously, there's going to be different bits and bobs, and people are going to do things differently. But essentially, cleaning is cleaning, and the vehicle is different, the uniform is different. So there's something distinctive about that. There's another cleaning company in the UK that I came across a few years ago, and they are commercial cleaners, and they leave a chocolate on a Friday night after everyone has left for the day. So whenever staff come in on Monday morning, they have a chocolate on their desk, and people seem to love that, you know. People actually love that, and whenever the chocolate is not there, the cleaning company gets contacted, and because of the chocolate. So maybe a chocolate costs you, I don't know, 10p, but then you can raise the price by 50p. But what makes you different to the eyes of the consumer, in the eyes of the consumer rather, you know, those are very, very important things for you to think about. And then we get into the topic of customer stickiness, as it's called. And you can think of Adobe or Microsoft or any of these businesses. Is there a pain of disconnection? So if I were to stop using you, how does that look? Is it hard for me to stop using you, or is it very easy for me to stop using you? How entrenched are you with my company? What can you do that's similar to a sticky business, for example, something like Microsoft or Gmail? Once you start using Gmail, where are you going to go? Are you going to create another 3 email addresses? You might, but you're still going to use Gmail. This is the same thing. Once I have set my eyes on your company and you do the work for me, what can you do for me that is going to be difficult for me to move away to a competitor? And don't say price. Don't say we do this for cheaper. It has to be something different. The way the vans look, the way the cleaners do things, or the value you add, or whatever. But do not say price, or try not to say price, because it's important not to compete on price in a commoditized business. And I understand that looks and sounds very weird, because commodities are commodities and people tend to go to where the cheaper things are. But I don't know whether you've been keeping up with the news, but apparently the post office have been in some hot water lately here in the UK. And guess who was the cheapest option for the software that the post office were going to use? Yeah, it was the cheapest. So the option provided by Fujitsu was the cheapest. The fact that it was the cheapest is not the fact that it was the most reliable, right? It was a lot less reliable. A lot of people got hurt with that. And so I don't really know why more people aren't harping on that point and saying, we are not the cheapest, we might not be the cheapest, but we will not let you down. Or we do we do things a specific way. We do things so that everything works and everything works within your business. So that what can you do that sets you apart, that enables the customer to get some pain of disconnection from you, and what makes you different rather? Do you have any customer stickiness, for example, which is what we were talking about? And then obviously you are going to have a lot of competitors, and it's going to be a somewhat saturated market. And so if it is a saturated market and you compete a lot of the time with other people and you want to sell your business, could you potentially approach some of those people, some of those companies, and say, hey, I am looking at selling my business. Would you want to buy it? Because maybe going through a broker might not be the right thing for you. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Who knows? The first thing you need to do, however, is to value your business properly. And valuing your business properly or not valuing your business properly is arguably the most important things. I have looked at dozens of cleaning businesses in my time, and they have said, hey, we put up our business for sale 2 years ago, no one has come forward. And whenever I've looked at the value that broker or that other company were providing them with, I saw, well, your business is actually not worth this much money. They have told you what you want to hear about your business's value. That's why you're not getting offers. That's why people are not engaging with your business. And so the first thing you need to do is value the business properly. And so if you want to value the business properly, or you need any advice on how to buy or sell companies, get in touch, mycompanyvalue.co.uk, fire us an email, leave a comment or ring the office, and we would be delighted to help you. It's what we do all day, every day. And cleaning is actually something that's close to my heart because I had a cleaning company. I found it extremely hard to scale up. I'll tell you a bit about my experience. I found the whole sector extremely hard to scale up. And with other businesses, they tend to be hard, but not as hard. For whatever reason, whenever you deal with cleaners and companies, there's too many problems all at once. The admin side, the HR side of the business is pretty heavy. People not showing up to work, the constant churn of people sometimes, people not turning to work, pubs not being cleaned to their standards, or problems with customers or whatever. So you're always sort of firefighting. And because you are always firefighting, and when you're on the up, as it were, if you're a cleaning company and you make £10 million a year, you have different layers of management, and you can do this through different people. But if you turn over £1-2 million, you are doing 1,000 things every day. You are dealing with cleaners and HR departments and compliance and whatever, and you are firefighting with customers, and you're doing this and you're doing that. And at the same time, the business is not growing, or you're not acquiring another business or whatever, because you haven't got the time, you haven't got the resources to tender for more contracts and to make your business bigger. That's what I found with my business. So I started looking at all the things. What can we do? Painting, decorating, all these sort of stuff. And so that's roughly my experience with the industry, apart from the fact that I've valued and helped buy and sell a lot of these actually in my time. So yeah, get in touch and I'll love to help. Thank you.